We all have those games from our childhood where we've dumped endless hours and never actually seen them through to the actual end. Well, recently, while I was digging through my backlog, I came across one that I nearly entirely forgot about. Growing up, I was an avid fan of many of the LEGO games, particularly the ones on PC, some of which I've covered here on the channel. And I think I've spent days, if not weeks, of my childhood building theme parks in Legoland, solving overly complicated puzzles in LEGO Alpha Team, or exploring expansive caves in LEGO Rock Raiders. Of all the LEGO games I've played, however, probably on the top of my list were the LEGO Island games. Most likely because its open world exploration felt like something that, at the time, I had never seen anywhere else. Keep in mind, this was years before I had my hands on a Game Boy, let alone the 3D open worlds that would come to be standard on home consoles. And naturally, when it did come time for me to graduate to the wild world of the PlayStation 2, a certain title would grab my attention. Like any other kid growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, action sports like skateboarding or BMX had a complete chokehold on what it meant to be cool. And therefore, there's no surprise when I came across this third entry in the LEGO Island series, I was completely obsessed. LEGO Island Xtreme Stunts captured my imagination both with the game itself and the dozen or so tie-in LEGO sets that you could build in the real world. And if you thought that I dumped a lot of time into the other LEGO games, these are the ones that I probably put the most amount of time into. The only problem? For those of you who may have played the game, I know all my time was spent just riding around on my skateboard and harassing civilians by throwing pizza at them, and I never actually even tried to complete the story. And knowing childhood me, after it sat for a little bit, it likely got shelved and then promptly traded into GameStop not too long after. Flash forward to now, and here I am back almost 20 years later to finish what childhood me could never. So ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, TheLostYeti, and today we're going back to beat LEGO Island Xtreme Stunts. Picking up the game all these years later, I knew that younger me never even stood a chance. You see, this game relies heavily on the NPCs telling you where to go and what to do, something I'm not very good at. I found myself wandering around the island aimlessly for more time than I'd like to admit, until I realized it was just a sparkling sign right where they spawned me in that actually starts the first mission. The whole game is basically based around the idea of filming an action sports film, right? So each of the different chapters or missions are basically just different minigames surrounding that concept. Thankfully, they start you easy, and the first mission, Freeway Frenzy, is pretty straightforward. Basically, you purposefully drive a car and crash it into another car, which is the Brickster. Now, the Brickster was the villain in the previous games, but now he's just pretending to be a villain in a movie. I'm sure that that's going to go well, but we'll come back to that later. Anyways, you chase down the Brickster, you crash your car into him, and then after dealing enough damage, you win the mission. You repeat the mission 3 times over, and that actually allows you to get your bronze, silver, and gold medals, respectively. Each time, it's a little bit harder. Thankfully, I think that this game is going to be a total cakewalk, and honestly, just an easy one to cover here on the channel. I didn't know that a LEGO game could reach this level of pain and suffering. Motorbike Mayhem is only the second stunt mission where you get to ride a motorbike on a 2D background, avoiding obstacles, crazy, chasing a guy. Oh my gosh, so elaborate. All you gotta do is go point A to point B before the time runs out. Bronze medal? No problem. Chase the guy down, go a couple ramps, do a couple tricks. Everything's good. Silver? Okay. Good level difficult. Gold? I don't know what layer of hell this took me to. Maybe it's just because I'm way washed up on how I play my video games. Or it's just... No, it's probably because I'm washed up. I found myself crashing over and over, trying to jump over stupid logs, boxes, suitcases. Don't do it yourself. Watch the video, enjoy. I don't know why. This was the hardest mission in the game. I spent a couple nights attempting this over and over, and I don't know why the developers needed to crush souls of poor little children so early into the game. I got the gold medal by the skin of my teeth, and I still don't know how. So we pressed on. The next mission, called Wave Catcher, was pretty enjoyable, actually. It's very reminiscent of the Lego Racer games, if you played any of those. Very basic, drive through glowing ring mechanics, you know, crazy. But again, after 2D Motorbike hell, it was great, okay? The barrier to entry, or the bar for success here, was much lower. I got gold, silver, bronze, not in that order, and I would do it again. This was great. This is what the game is supposed to be. And I will say also, it showed the island off in ways that I wasn't expecting, which was really cool. And it also showed the like underwater cave system, which I was super nostalgic for, which was also awesome. I thought that all my problems were behind me, and I was just going to enjoy the rest of this game. It's going to be good. Everything's going to be smooth sailing. There's a lovely thing about older console games, PlayStation 2 games, right? For some reason, my disc would get stuck in the loading screen for the next mission after I just survived whatever trauma I went through to get this far. The game didn't want to load, and this episode was going in the garbage really fast. I was not going to let this get the better of me. It is now 3 months later. I am $30 poorer, and I am now the proud owner of not one, but 2 copies of Lego Island Xtreme Stunts. Oh, and I bought one of the cool little Lego features from the Xtreme Stunt sets I had when I was a kid because I thought it was cool. So I am probably even more poorer now. However, we pressed on. The mission that I kept getting stuck on, or I couldn't load, was Air Chase. Basically, it's just the water mission mashed with the car mission from the beginning, where basically you just have to do the totally safe and not at all concerning mission of smashing your airplane into the Brickster's airplane in midair to knock him out of this. Who thought this was a good idea for kids? I understand that guns or missiles probably wouldn't have passed the game's E for Everyone rating, but I cannot comprehend how instead this is what got the stamp of approval. I will say, flying through rings, collecting power-ups, and yeah, smashing my plane into the back of the Bricksters for trophies was kind of fun. Like, overall, all positive things said here. And I'll even say, the gold difficulty with the moving rings, kind of clever. I think it's probably because there were 3 months between this and the actual water mission that it wasn't very repetitive for me. That's it. We're almost done with the game. All positives. All positives. No, not so soon, because that is right about the time that I decided I was going to try to find the last mission. And I ran around the entire island trying to find the stupid information center. Let me tell you, the game did not tell me that I had to fly to get the information center. Thank God for Wikipedia. I looked that one up. I wandered for far too long trying to figure it where it was, only come to find out I couldn't get there without my flying license. So then, I had to run around, chase down 3 NPCs, drive through more rings with a car, with a boat, and then with a plane, only so that then I could access the location where the final mission was. All good. Everything's good. Driving through rings, flying through rings, boating through rings. I'm over it. Lights at the end of the tunnel. One last mission. What could be so bad? At last, the last mission, Ripcord Rescue. Oh, you thought driving through rings and license tests was enough? No. I need you to fall through the sky through those rings while doing tricks, just so I could show you how extreme I am. Yes, this is the game of going through rings. I get it, okay? Here we are. there's not much to say here. This one's kind of lame, to be perfectly real with you, and it wasn't overly difficult. I got bronze, silver, and gold pretty quickly. It's done. We have done it. It feels great, right? Now, here's where everything kind of shifted, and I can say it was honestly a positive surprise. So I wasn't expecting this, but nevertheless, after completing Ripcord Rescue, you're actually hit with the most crazy, insane, this is your magnum opus plot twist of all time. The Brickster, by the way, the guy I mentioned earlier about playing the bad guy.
If you'll all raise your glasses, I'd like to propose a toast to me. While you've all been sitting in here, I have masterminded a plan to make me the most powerful person in the world. My Brickster bots have been building sets all around the island, and now that they are fully trained, they have built me a tower.
He's actually the bad guy, not just in the film, in real life. Crazy. So, naturally, your job, because you're the stunt guy, and you do stunt things, is to take what you've learned in all the missions, compile that all together, and catch him before he uses his E-rated for everyone death laser to deconstruct Lego Island. You take off in pursuit of the Brickster via, a conveniently located car, glowing, pretty much immediately next to you. Yeah, this is video game logic. Where, once again, you're greeted with basically just another rendition of the driving license test, except this time, as you're driving through rings, random things kind of spawn out of nowhere. It's okay. It's okay, but nothing groundbreaking here. Then you have to ditch the car as the Brickster begins up his evil tower mountain thing, so you have to actually skateboard. I don't know why they didn't do any real missions with the skateboard, but now you actually have to use this to chase after him. But again, video game logic, I am no mountain expert, but I don't think it's very typical to find ramps and grind rails spanning huge 100-foot death drops on the side of a mountain. But naturally, here we are throwing caution to the wind and grinding across these death platforms just to chase after him. And naturally, video game, I made it on my first try. Finally making it across after, again, our first attempt. The climb gets steeper still, and we're forced to abandon our trusty skateboard. I know, heartbroken. We actually have to chase him on foot. But what's funny here is this is basically straight out of Donkey Kong, because you have to climb up a spiral tower as these barrels fall down and try to kill you. I am not making this up. I don't know where this came out of. It's kind of fun, but it's just like so disjointed from the rest of the game. And I think the best part is after you run and jump and do all this platforming, you get to the top, and all of a sudden you're basically met with like a castle gate. I feel like this is just called plagiarism, but frankly, with all the AI generated content and stuff that I see on this platform today, I guess I can give this one a pass. But seriously, it feels like a full-on Mario-inspired boss fight, Lego-themed, where you actually have to launch the Brickster off the side of the platform, almost like something in Mario 64. And every time you throw him off, it just proceeds to the next stage of the fight. You do your best, avoiding his flying robot lackeys and his overpowered ground pounds, yeah, totally not Mario inspired, to make short work of the Brickster and put him back behind bars where he belongs. And all of this is done just in time to catch the live premiere of your new action sports movie, now in theaters. Because saving the world and being an action movie star, that's peak cinema right there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was LEGO Island Xtreme Stunts, at least in a nutshell. Now, of course, you can go back and roam the island, collect hidden items, replay minigames, but that feels like the natural conclusion to the whole story, as abrupt as it may be. And I'll be the first to say, I was not expecting a full-fledged boss fight with multiple phases, but actually seeing this quote-unquote movie that felt kind of disjointed through most of the gameplay be a thing and kind of tie a bow on it loosely, very loosely, was somewhat satisfying, or at least a somewhat satisfying way to end the game all these years later, even though I did have to jump through a few hoops to get here. If you guys made it this far in the video, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on LEGO Island Xtreme Stunts are. If you have any funny memories of the game, I'd love to hear it down in the comment section. And also, I'll throw it out there, guys, if you like this style of content and you have any other games you want to see me covered, let me know down there. I would highly appreciate it. But that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all that we have time for in today's episode. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. As always, guys, this has been your host, TheLostYeti, and I hope to catch you guys in the next episode.